everybody, this is Jeff McDonald from East West Draftcast. I have jumped into an 8-4 of Dark Ascension Double Innistrad. Decided to record one of these for anybody who's interested to see how I'm drafting this set. This is probably like maybe my 6th draft of the format, and so I feel like I have somewhat of a understanding of how it works, but yeah, I will be back in a second when the draft starts. Okay, here we go. Starting with a good rare. Increasing Devotion is really good. 5 mana for 5/1/1 humans is totally worth it. And probably my favorite deck in the format is the human sacrifice deck. Besides that, this pack is not that exciting. I like Mystic Retrieval. I mean, it tables often. Gravetiller Worm is pretty good in the black-green Morbid deck. Wild Hunger is definitely solid. Reap is solid, and Evolving Wilds is fine, but this is Head and Shoulders better than everything else. Okay, now we have some cards. We have Removal Spell and Rack with Madness. It's not as good as I once thought it was, but it's still a fine removal spell that I'll always play. Sea Kite is pretty awesome, and I do like blue-white. We also have Pyreheart Wolf, which is good, and Warden of the Wall, which is just a solid colorless option. I think the Sea Kite's good enough to take here over a colorless option that is worse, so I'm gonna jump on that. There's also Griptide, which is good. Okay, and here we have my favorite card for the human deck, the Torturer. He wheels and is always awesome. The human sacrifice theme deck. He does a lot of work for what you think is not a good creature. He just becomes awesome. Avacyn's Collar actually is totally awesome with humans, which we have 5 of right now. The Ironride is good too. Is it better than the Collar? Is the question. Probably. But it's close, I think. Actually, you know what? I think I like the Collar more. I haven't really gotten to play with the Collar yet, so I want to try it out. Okay, now we have Towergeist, Nibbles of the Urn, and Loyal Cathar. All 3 I love. It looks like black is not coming, so I can't move into black-white, which is what I kind of want to do. But blue is coming, because Towergeist is just really good. Better than these 2 cards, so I'm going to take it here. And we got a Drogskull Captain. He is a good reason to be blue-white, so I'm going to take it and be happy about it. There's Loyal Cathar, which I love. I think he's just amazing, but he's really amazing in the decks where you sacrifice him. Like, right now, I mean, we have a card that wants us to have humans, which is awesome with that. But the upside of Captain is much larger than the upside of Collar, I think. Well, not much larger, but larger. And I mean, Color makes spirits, so. So there's that. And then another Torturer coming by. I think here I will be taking the Torturer, maybe. I mean, at this point, I have 3 good blue cards and 2 good white cards, so I guess blue is more likely than white. And blue-black sacrifice doesn't work quite as well. I guess I'll take the Screeching Scab. He's fine, and I don't love Break of Day all that much. I'd rather have a Selfless Cathar. Oh my god. Really? Skurstag Flare? This is the card. This is the card for the black-white human sacrifice deck. Ugh. I can't do it though. There's a Gatherer, which is awesome anyway, so I can't complain, but ugh. Skurstag Flare. Bummer. Cool. We got a Warden of the Wall back. Bone Ash is cool, and I like Face Shield sometimes too. But Warden is ramp and defense, and he's cool. Like I said, this card tables all the time. It's a good card. For us, I guess it's better than a Fengraph, which is just pretty mediocre, because a lot of our creatures are going to be kind of wieners. Alright, Retrieval. Saving Grasp's always solid in blue-white. Sorry about that, I paused it and made some picks while I was busy with other stuff. The only card that I took that might be playable is Break of Day. Everything else was just a bunch of chafe, and I hated it. Ripper. Okay, so let's hide some cards here. And that's it. Cost sort it so I can see what's going on here. Kind of wanted to see if I would rather take a Moon Heron over a Lantern Spirit, because I think that's the pick here. There's not a white card in the entire pack. And for curve considerations, I'm going to take the Lantern Spirit. I think both cards are about equal in power level, though. And we got past a Slayer. There's also a Priest. I think everybody at this point knows that Slayer is better than Priest. Maybe knew it when the Innistrad was spoiled the first time. There's also Chapelgeist, which goes well with our Captain, but Slayer is a 2-for-1, and I like 2-for-1s. Oh, man. I'm going to take the guard here, but I really wish that I was black-white. This is like, God, the Mausoleum Guard was already awesome, and the fact that there's so many more ways to sacrifice for value makes it just absurd in certain decks. Yeah, I mean, the only other card I would think about here is Selfless Cathar, which is way worse, so. Dearly Departed. Okay. Yeah, dragons are always good. That's never changed, and never will. Garbage, garbage, garbage. Take the sideboard. Exorcism. Okay. So I'm going to hide this Mystic Retrieval. There's just no way we're playing it. Well, not no way, but it's really doubtful. Probably don't want to splash red just for that card. Here we have an Intangible Virtue, and cards we could hate. We have Increasing Devotion, Mausoleum Guard, Gather the Townsfolk, and Avacyn's Caller, all that can make tokens. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 token cards. Intangible Virtue is not playable yet, but it can be. Jesus, this pack is not going very well for us. I'm not going to play any cards here, so I guess I'm going to hate something. I guess I'm gonna hate Desperate Ravings, because Orchard Spirit is probably the best card in the pack. I mean, Desperate Ravings and Orchard Spirit are probably equal, maybe. Or, I don't, in the right deck, Desperate Ravings is definitely better, but this deck isn't always drafted, where green will always be drafted. But the thing is, I mean, we have a bunch of flyers, like Sea Kite just ambushes it and kills it, so I don't know. Not too afraid of it. Bellringer, I think twice. We have 8 creatures. Do any of them want to be untapped? I guess Warden of the Wall is kind of cool to untap. Besides that, though, I mean, no, not really. But defending on the ground is always nice, and it's another human for the collar, although probably won't die. I'm gonna take the ringer though. Just, I mean, probably won't play the thing twice. I'm just gonna hate another Desperate Ravings. We get a second intangible virtue, so if we get an insane amount of tokens in the next pack, maybe we could play both. Pretty unlikely. Spare's a sideboard card. And Illusion, okay. This pack was really bad for us, so hopefully the next pack is awesome. Let's hide all of the garbage, shall we? Ugh. This is not awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna hide Frightful Illusion, even though it's possible we'll play it. Yep, this is... it's looking okay, but not great. Sorry about that. Okay, so... we got some options here. Murder is murder. Could splash for an Evil Twin. I don't really want to splash right now, we have no fixing. When murder is nearly the power level of Evil Twin. Then there's Bonds, which is a removal spell, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 0 removal. But I think I'm gonna take the murder. It's just a better card than Bonds, and I'm happy to take just the better card. And we're not like, we don't have like a million 5-drops yet. We only have 1, so we'll take the murder. Okay. Pretty much nothing except Voiceless Spirit. So that's what we're taking. And I'm fine with it. It fits our deck nicely. Okay. We got some choices here. So, Civilized Scholar is the best card for us in this pack, or the best card in our colors in this pack. But Doom Traveler has synergy with Drogskull Captain and Intangible Virtue. Right now, we still only have the 4 cards that make tokens. So this would be our 5th, making the first Intangible Virtue may be playable. We might need 1 more for it to be actually playable, but I think it's worth it to take. I like drafting synergy over power, and this is definitely one of those times. Okay. We need removal. That's removal. I'm going to take it. Voice of Spirit is nice, but removal is removal. Okay. So I'm a little bit torn in this pick. Moon Heron is kind of the obvious take it because, you know, Captain and Spirit and Flyer, but One-Eyed Scarecrow is actually kind of awesome in these flyer decks because when you face another one, you play Scarecrow and you just trump them, you just win. It also just destroys us. Well, it doesn't destroy us, but it's good against us. Um, and it's a 3-drop, which is better than a 4-drop. I think I'm going to take the Scarecrow here, as maybe odd as that might seem. Also blocks pesky Intimidate guys. There's a couple of those now. I think I'm going to hate something here, and that something's going to be Diagraph Ghoul. Not going to play Unruly Mob. Well, actually, shoot. I do not have enough playables. I am going to play Unruly Mob. It's a human, at least, so there's that. Cloistered Youth, that's nice. I don't want 2 Scarecrows, but probably rather have a Scarecrow and a ooh, that's beautiful. Gallows Warden's cool, like pumps all your spirits, but it pumps them in the wrong way. If this was a Battleground Geist, I'd probably take that over the Chapel Geist. But Chapel Geist is better than Warden. And sure, I'll take another Unruly Mob. It's possible I play both. And maybe the Hauberk is good enough when I have a couple Unruly Mobs. Probably not. Stitcher's Apprentice might be good enough. Actually, it makes tokens for Intangible Virtue. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's awesome. It's a card you don't think about all that often. Don't need a second spare. Just hate of cannibals. Another card that's awesome in the Human Sacrifice deck. It's such a cool deck when it comes together. I really wish I could have showed it to you. But, yeah, this is looking pretty good. So I will come back in a sec with the deck laid out, and we'll talk about the decisions. Alright, so I built the deck down here. The cards up top are cards that could be discussed. The rest are not playable in this deck. Looking at it, it actually looks kinda awesome. Better than I thought while drafting it. These Unruly Mobs are maybe good. I mean, they combo with Stitcher's Apprentice, and we have a lot of humans, and we don't mind them dying. Just pretty cool combos going on in this deck. Just like imagine the collar on the Traveler with a Virtue and a Mob out with a Stitcher's Apprentice. Yeah, that's like 8 cards too, but that's like 8 combos going off at once. Pretty cool stuff. Also, Dearly Departed. I kind of just looked at it as a dragon, but we have Increasing Devotion, which Pets in the Yard. This is a I don't know what that is. That's insane. Is what that is. So yeah, I mean, this is 23 cards here. Cards that maybe aren't good enough. Cloistered Youth, Unruly Mob, Saving Grasp, One-Eyed Scarecrow, Warden. I mean, I like Warden a lot, actually. Ramps you, which is pretty important. But those are kind of the weaker links, I guess. But I definitely feel like all of these are weaker still. We're not going to need a second Intangible Virtue. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 token makers, which I think is a good number for 1 Intangible Virtue. To get 2 in there, I would want like 8, probably 8 or more, which can be done, but it wasn't done here. Hauberk, I mean, it's nice to have a sacrifice outlet, but I've never loved this card all that much. The Bellringer, I could see siding in against a deck where, I don't know, they got a bunch of 3-power guys on the ground. Or 2-power for that matter. Scabs just doesn't do anything here. I mean, we have a Grasp that has flashback, and that's it. So we're not really caring to mill ourselves. And then Break a Day is definitely worthy of a spot. We did not get a Selfless Cathar, which I like more than Break of Day, but so it warrants its place here. It's possible that I would want it in over something, maybe the Youth. I mean, probably not though. I like the Youth a lot. It's just this deck isn't aggressive on the ground more. It's more aggressive in the air, which means that this will be easier to deal with since it's the only thing coming on the ground. I mean, that and Unruly Mob and some tokens. But, I mean, this makes all our tokens awesome, but we already have ways to make our tokens awesome with that and that. And that, for that matter. So, I'm just going to say we're not going to need it, and submit this deck as is. Look at the suggested lands. 10-7, is that what we want? We have one double blue spell, nope, two double blue spells. But nearly nothing early, like a Drogskull Captain and a Lantern Spirit. And Lantern Spirit is fine on 4 when you can bring it back. Yeah, I think 10-7 is good. Pretty much all of our 2 and earlier drops are white. We have a guy that we want to play on 3 for double white. Sure. So that's the deck, folks. See you in round 1.